Tonight, we also have team coverage. Our reporters are across the Midlands, and they are continuing to track the aftermath of this winter storm and those dangerous road conditions. Let's go ahead and start on over in Lexington County. That's where we find News 19's Kiki Gushu with the very latest. All righty, Kiki, what's the latest on those road conditions in that area, especially as the sun is going down?
Christy, I spoke earlier with IRMO Deputy Fire Chief Valentino, and he told me you got to be careful as the sun goes down because conditions can just change ever so rapidly. I'm going to ask my producer Emily to kind of roll that B-roll I have. This was collected throughout the day, and you can see those areas that didn't get that direct sunlight today are still slushy and still icy and wet, and that is just going to freeze really quickly as we head into tonight. I want you to take a look here. Over down, we are on Lake Murray Boulevard, which is one of the problem spots identified by officials here. And if you look down the hill right here on Lake Murray Boulevard, that is where Deputy Chief Valentino says that is your trouble areas. It's going to be up and down this hill. We even saw a car a little bit earlier today kind of sliding down this hill a little bit off the road and getting stuck. So again, you want to be careful on the hills. I'm going to toss it over and take a listen to what Deputy Valentino has to say about the road conditions as we head into tonight. Take a listen.
Everywhere there was a hill last night and the road was icy, people were unable to get up the hill. So what we saw was a lot of people start to slide and stop on the hill. In a few instances, they couldn't go forward and they tried to go backwards. And if you can't drive forward on the ice, driving backwards on the ice is an even bigger challenge. So they wound up in the ditch. I want to say the big problem spots that I'm aware of last night were IRMO Drive, Lake Murray Boulevard, and in several spots. There were 2 spots on Lake Murray. Kennerly Road was really bad for a while. Bush River Road was bad.
We are hearing Kennerly Road is still having some issues heading into tonight, so that is a spot to look out for. And as we head in tonight, really, as Deputy Valentino said, these conditions can change so rapidly, especially looking behind me on I-26. You can see those ramps, those ice over really quickly if they're not completely dry, and a lot of them are shaded and won't be getting completely dry through the night. I also just want to remind you, these hills, I talked with Assistant Chief Valentino, and he told me if you don't have 4-wheel drive, it's really not a good idea to be out on these roads at all. If you do, drive carefully and probably head home around now so you can get off these roads as the sun goes down. Christy, back to you.
Yeah, Kiki, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Yeah, exactly what the chief was mentioning, the assistant chief there, is that those hills, those ramps, those overpasses, especially as the sun is going down right now, that's where it's going to be the really treacherous spots for ice. Turning now over to Newberry County, that's where we find News 19's Jamin Wade, who's in front of the Opera House. All right, Jamin, what have you heard so far about how crews and the sheriff's office there is planning for these freezing cold temperatures, and how are they treating the roads?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of the same message, I believe, from me and all of my colleagues this evening when we're talking about how these freezing temperatures are going to change the roads and the way that the roads look overnight tonight. So if you can kind of see just behind me, this road, which was completely frozen yesterday, now looks pretty clear. But that's just right here. There are other patches on this road, just even down where you see that truck down there, where there is black ice already forming and has not melted at all today. Even on the corner here to my left, this is Main Street and Nance Street right here in downtown Newberry. I've seen people sliding through this intersection for the last day. From yesterday when it started snowing through just 5 minutes ago, I saw a Mustang come right through this corner and slide through this corner. And so that's kind of just been what they've been telling me, is that people need to be slow on these roads, take their time, be safe. I spoke to Fire Chief Gene Sheely today, who talked about how people may have a little bit of confidence, like you see this truck coming through pretty quickly behind me, but they need to be precautious. Take a listen.
Just want folks to understand that that's going to refreeze. There's still some icy spots too. There's some patches where there's some shade, and so those patches of ice are still there. Just make sure you don't get overconfident. Still drive slow, slow braking, give that distance that you talked about yesterday, give that distance between you and the next driver, and just don't get overconfident. And again, if you don't have to be out, don't be out. Just stay at home.
Yes, and so yeah, that's the same message that we're all going to be preaching tonight. Stay home if you can. I know, just like Christy was just telling you guys, there's a lot of schools in the Midlands that have decided to either do e-learning days or not have school tomorrow at all, or even on a 2-hour delay in some of our southern counties. Here in Newberry, we are also on an e-learning day tomorrow and Tuesday. So kids are not in school. Some companies won't be open. So if you can stay home, please do stay home. If you're deciding to be out tomorrow, probably after the sun comes fully up and before the sun goes back down, because we're going to hit some of those freezing temperatures again, are going to be the safest times for you to be on the road. But for now, reporting in Newberry, Jamin Wade, News 19 WLTX.
Yeah, Jamin, exactly. You don't want to be Superman. Don't be reckless out there on the roads. Don't be going down there really, really fast. Just make sure that you are taking your time on the roads. And if you do have to go out, just make sure you have plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you. All right, let's go ahead and send things on over to Richland County. That's where we find News 19's Josie Frost, who's been checking in on the roads there. She's joining us live now from downtown Columbia with an update from city officials. What do you got for us, Josie?
Well, Christy, we've been out kind of looking at the roads, seeing what the conditions are. It's much like what I told you earlier. The roads sort of held up well today, but they are definitely wet and definitely a little snowy right now. I want to show you kind of what we're looking at here. There's some snow on the ground here. There's a little bit of kind of ice and sludge. And the concern is that as we go into tonight, all of this is likely going to freeze again. So earlier today, I spoke to Assistant Columbia City Manager Clint Shealy, and he kind of gave me an update on what they saw last night and what they're preparing for the next couple days. And the overall message was, yes, the roads held up pretty well today here in downtown. They obviously had some really treacherous conditions this morning, but the sun kind of helped a lot of that. But as they're going into tonight, there is still a major concern for black ice. Their Columbia crews have been out for a good bit today. I have some video that you can take a look at here of exactly what those crews were out doing. They were out salting the roads and brining them. They were doing a really great job of trying to keep up with all of this snow and ice we were seeing. And I was told that operations reported about 12 emergency calls overnight for water shutoffs and frozen pipe leaks. So that's been a major concern overnight as well. They say into tonight, those are still going to be the main concerns. What's going to happen to your pipes and staying off the roads? That was the big advice. They're going to continue to salt and brine into the evening and hope that maybe some sun tomorrow will melt some of that away. But there's still a big danger for black ice for tomorrow, and they are encouraging people to stay home and wait. They say another sunny day will help that. Now, they also said that from what they could tell, Columbia citizens did a great job of heeding that advice and staying home. They say there was really light traffic last night and this morning and fewer accidents than they were expecting. So they're really hoping people are continuing to follow that and stay home. And again, the big issue going into this evening is pipes and what might happen to your pipes at home. I talked to Assistant City Manager Shealy about what you should do for your pipes. Take a listen.
And blocking off your vents to your crawl space, wrapping those exterior faucets, spigots as they come out of your stub out of your crawl space and the exposed pipe, making sure that's insulated, and leave those faucets dripping, and that will pay big dividends for you in terms of not having a plumbing issue, hopefully, for you. So not too late to do that, because it's going to be bitterly cold tonight.
Now, that has been the message that I've heard across the board from Columbia officials. Stay home if you can. A lot of businesses here in downtown have been closed today and are likely to be closed tomorrow. A lot of schools will be closed. I'm told the Columbia offices will be closed tomorrow as well. So they're really urging Columbia residents to follow suit. Christy.
Yes, thank you so much, Josie. We appreciate it. Also, if you do have to go out maybe to a restaurant and you're asking about anything going on in the grocery store, just go ahead and give them a call and they'll be able to give you those hours. I've been seeing a lot about that. What's open, what's not open on social media? Just make that phone call and so you can get all that information before you head out there on the roads tonight.